Damn. Wow. There are national parks, and there is the national park. Yellowstone is the national park. 150 years ago, this park became the first national park in the world. Yellowstone National Park. Here we go. Let's go. Welcome to Yellowstone. They were not joking when they said the bisons are on the road. Hello bisons in Yellowstone. Just look at them. The bison bull leading the way. Wow, those are deep waters. All that water coming from here. Boom. Walking down to the Gibson Falls at Yellowstone. You hear that? I hear the roar of the water. Check this out. On our first day, we entered the Yellowstone through the west entrance right here and drove through up to Mammoth Hot Springs. And that's where we spent the night. On the way, we spotted a grizzly bear. Currently at Mammoth Hot Springs, you see colorful terraces that are changing constantly. Here at the Yellowstone, there are just springs everywhere. That's the sound of the hot springs, the water just kind of bubbling up. It's boiling up over there. Bam, right there. So I'm standing on a hazardous thermal ground. Hazardous thermal ground meaning that there's geothermal energy that is being released from the ground. This energy is then transferred into the water, and that's what makes the hot springs. What's really unique is that then within these hot springs, there are also lots of microbials that can either thrive off of the sun energy, or they can thrive off of not light but like nitrogen or different gases. There are different types of microbials that actually are deposited onto these rocks, and that's what turns into these different colors of the rock. White rocks, brown rocks. Essentially, it's not the rocks that are that color, it's the microbials that are deposited onto the rocks that give it that color. So these steps are actually created naturally. It's literally the hot spring water is what forms them. The hot spring water basically jets out of the ground up there, and then from there the water finds its way through the mountains and it creates its new creeks, and some creeks are kind of lost because of the deposited minerals, and from that it just continues to deposit layers of minerals as well, and that's how these steps are created naturally. Springs never end. This is only one of them. This is crazy. That is steaming over there. It literally sounds like there's a jet engine flying through the air, and it smells like just sulfur here. It's crazy. We are driving today. We drive back down south. We stop at the artist paint pots. This is the artist paint pot springs. We saw mud pots that decompose rocks into clay and mud from acidic hot springs. This thing is boiling. The water streams that erupt out of these different places then deposits iron oxide, and that's what causes for these red clay-like structures to form here. And then we're gonna keep driving south now, and then we are hoping to go and visit the Midway Geyser Basin. That's where the Grand Prismatic. Here at the Grand Prismatic Spring. Really, really windy and foggy. It feels warm though, because of the steam. Oh yeah, I like that. I can't see. There's like zero. It was so cool to experience the Grand Prismatic from the ground and be right next to it. But if you want to see the colors, you've got to get some elevation. So we hiked up a nearby mountain, and boy, it was worth the hike. We then drove down to see geysers. The old faithful geyser. All you smell is sulfur. this is how the geysers work. It's essentially like a hot spring, right? And eventually what happens is that it doesn't actually have, the hot water doesn't have anywhere to escape except for this particular constrained hole. And so what happens is, it's kind of like a pressure cooker. So what happens is when it heats up a lot, at certain time points, they have to then release that pressure, and so the hot water jets out of the ground. And it's almost like a natural fountain itself. This is what the geyser looks like when it's erupting. Isn't this the coolest thing ever? It's crazy how close up you get to be. I mean, this water is like well above boiling point water, and it's crazy how close up we get to be in a safe distance. Wow. Heading back to catch the old faithful geyser one more time. I'm gonna try to get some elevation compared to the first time that I saw it. Let's see how it goes. The old faithful geyser is predicted to erupt in just a few minutes, and so I'm just waiting for that right now. There it is. There it is. That's the good old faithful geyser. Wow. Wow. We then drove up to Madison for our camping experience in Yellowstone. In the month of May in Yellowstone, camping meant staying warm, and we learned that the hard way. Next morning, I woke up hella groggy. But then after packing up, we went and saw some more hot springs, mud pods, and wildlife.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Scobies.
Yeah. Kombucha. That is for sure the blue fog. It's like the red beach.
If I had a bison, I'd name him Mike.
Mike Python.
Mike Bison! Look at that one running.
Hey man, let me get out of here though. Would you look at that? That is the Grand Canyon of Yellowstone. Look how deep that goes. It just keeps going down. And there's a little river. It's way down there. Wow, there's that black dot over there. There's a black bear right there. It's really hard to see from here, but
and now there's this kind of like yellow.
he's just chilling.
You see in the middle of yellow?
Black bear at the Grand Canyon of Yellowstone. Missed. It's clear what humans saw in Yellowstone that led to sparking a global moment to protect more wild places on Earth. It's the supervolcano, endless hot springs, grand terraces, diverse wildlife, billions of thermophiles, and most famous geysers that makes Yellowstone so unforgettable. This restless giant showed me that change is part of the life. Change is everywhere. In fact, change is the only constant. This is Yellowstone Lake. All frozen right now. It's all just white though. It's a sight to see.